you did rest and you leveled up to level 3. Congratulations. You all picked your like path that you were going to go on for your character. So with that, everyone in the top right of your character sheet on D&D Beyond, hit the long rest button. Make sure you're all long rested up. So that should refresh all your spell slots, bring your HP back to 100%, all that good stuff. Refresh all of your abilities, all that. And during their long rest, anyone who is using one of the magic items, like wearing them or holding on to them, becomes attuned to that item. Remember, I told you attunement items, you can each have 3 of them on your character at a time. If you find a 4th attunement item that you want for your character, you need to unattune from one of the ones you're already attuned to, and then you get to attune to the new one. So with that, who has the earring in again? I believe that was...
That's me, yeah,
okay.
Shisa.
So Shisa, you have the earring, so you'll have that magic item attuned to you. Who has the finger? Is that you as well?
Yeah, I have the finger.
Okay. Did you guys want to talk about any of that? Did, like, before you go to bed, before you kind of attune to any of these items, do you guys want to discuss who gets them and how it works? Anything like that?
Who's grabbing the hairpin?
And then the hairpin was the last one that nobody really claimed.
Yeah, somebody... I don't want to have 3 already. Like, I want to, like, you know...
I'll take the
share.
hairpin
Okay.
for my beard.
All right. Perfect. So Egrid grabs the hairpin and clips it onto her beard, kind of pushing a little bit away from her lips so that it doesn't curl into her mouth as much.
Yep.
And so we got finger and earring on Shisa, or did anyone want to argue for the finger?
My finger.
Going once?
I'm very attached to this finger.
Going twice. Okay, before I get into what those all are, let's roll the intro. This is Blood of the Immortals, episode 9. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's do it.
Many years ago, before the gods were locked away in relics and scattered across Sarotha, they walked among the mortals. The people loved them, and they loved the people. So much so that children were born. Demigods. Blood of the Immortals running through their veins. These children have been kept hidden. Hidden from those who would do them harm. Hidden from those who would kill them. Like me. But fate has a funny way of bringing us together. Like moths to a flame. And if I sow enough chaos, if I burn enough cities, those demigods will have no choice but to reveal themselves. And once I've taken care of them, there will be nothing standing in my way.
My DM right there.
That's the intro. That's my DM. That's my streamer. All right. Hi, everybody. So these magical items, as you guys get some rest, you do your long rest, so make sure you click that long rest button on your character sheet, and we'll start with the hairpin on Egrid. Egrid, as you are wearing the hairpin, you start kind of going to sleep, and it's about this time you've been wearing the hairpin for an hour, and its magical abilities become known to you. So this is a hairpin of flight. So, the way it works is once per day, you can cast the fly spell, but only on yourself. So, normally the fly spell you can cast on anybody and you can make anyone fly, but with this hairpin, it's whoever's wearing the hairpin can fly once per day for an hour. So, for 1 hour, you would be able to fly. It's a very powerful magical item, but it could be very clunky for you as well. So, just be careful with it because you don't know how to fly. So, your character now knows that she has the ability to fly and she knows how to do it, how to activate the item. But like I said, you've never done it before, so it might be something that you want to practice before you take it into any serious situations, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. It is very powerful. It lasts for 1 hour and you can use it once per in-game day. So when Egrid goes to sleep, it resets and you can use it again. Okay. The other two, we'll start with the earring. So this earring is called the Earring of Midas. It's this beautiful, shining gold earring that comes down in a ring, and it gives you the ability to turn any item that is the size of a dagger or smaller into solid gold. So, if it is an inanimate object, meaning it's not living, you can turn any item that is dagger-sized or smaller into just solid gold. So you basically can make free money, but
Hell yeah.
it only works, again, it only works on one item per day. So, the other caveat is once you use it on an item, the other item that you used it on before becomes back to normal. So you could not like stockpile like 60 daggers made of gold and then sell them off in over 60 days and then sell them off at a city. You get one magical item, and then, you know, you can do whatever you want with it. One golden magical item that you can use in whatever way. You can sell it or whatever you want to do. And then the next time you use the earring, that item will go back to normal. And whoever has it will notice that. So just remember, if you sell it to a shopkeep and then, you know, you use it on something else, that shopkeep's going to know that you duped them.
Okay.
The last item is the finger. And the finger lets you cast the Find Familiar spell. So,
oh my god, yes!
Find Familiar allows you to create a magical animal that is no larger than a, like, I would say like a fox would be about as big as you could make this particular creature. And the drawback to this finger is when you create your familiar, it is like zombified. So whatever animal you create is going to be off-putting to most people when they look at it, because it's going to have rotting flesh on it, and like its eyes going to be popping out, whatever it is that you make.
Dude, I want to make a really big rotting snake.
Okay, that's easily enough. So as you hold on to the finger, you concentrate on the form that you want to make, and the finger actually turns into the snake. So it begins to elongate, and you see it's like the skin on the finger start to kind of peel off, revealing a little bit of bone, and that bone turns into a spine, and then around the spine some scales and flesh begin to form. The fingernail turns into fangs, which then kind of morph into a head. And this snake is about the size of a small python. So in length, the snake's going to be about 3 feet. And that's about as big as it can get.
Cool. This is so cool. Dude, I really wanted a snake familiar, and this is just the perfect opportunity to get a snake familiar. Like, it's just so on brand for me. And then the gold too, like, because like I'm already like a noble royal person who like is covered in gold, so it's like it's just perfect.
Yeah, you got some dope shit.
I'm so happy.
Awesome. So again, the drawback of your snake is that it is zombified, so some of its scales are missing, some of its flesh is missing. You can kind of see its spine peeking through its back a little bit, and one of its eyes is kind of bulging out compared to the other one. So
he's a little bit of a fixer-upper.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a fixer-upper.
But I love him.
He is what you would call incorporeal to most, which means most people can't actually even like touch your snake. If they tried, their hand would kind of go through it. But he looks to most people like a normal snake. It's upon closer inspection they'll see that he is magical in some way. You can carry him with you around your neck or on your shoulder as a belt. You could have him like wrap around you as a belt, and you can communicate with him. He has its own personality as well, so you can speak to it because you speak snake, and not to mention it's a familiar, so you can communicate with any familiar. So if you do talk to it, it can only talk to you. And
I can't wait to throw my snake onto somebody during battle.
And yeah, it can, it won't be able to like attack, but you can cast your spells through it. So that's how familiars
Oh,
work.
I can't just throw my snake at somebody's face.
You can.
Throw
but
your snake at me, please.
You can, but it's not going to do damage.
Okay.
But it
Damn
could
it.
freak them out. It'd be like, oh shit! Like if that's your goal, you know,
Yeah.
definitely freak them
Okay.
out. Okay, so I'll add those items to your character sheet when I can. Like I said, you can probably tell they're kind of hard to make, so
Yeah.
I've got to just create them. So yeah, those are the 3 items. You got a hairpin of flight, you've got a familiar finger, and you've got an earring of Midas.
Nice.
So those are your spoils for last session. You're also now level 3. Each of you looks a bit stronger, a bit tougher, and a bit wiser. And based on your past that you've picked, you can kind of begin to roleplay it the way you see fit. So if you think that your character levels up like a video game character, where like as you gain experience, maybe your look changes or like your colors change or something, we can totally roleplay that out. If you feel like now they're just, their brain is just better or whatever, then like, for example, like Ross's character, if you think you're just better at stealing now based on your the mistakes that happened in the mansion or whatever else, things you've learned
I
from.
didn't destroy the Mona Lisa. What are you talking about?
So you can role play it out however you want. If you want your character to show a change happening to them, kind of like a level up, you totally can. Otherwise, it can be very subtle in their behavior, or just not at all. You can just be the same person, just a bit stronger. So all you want to do doesn't matter to me. However you feel like you want to role play it. And with that, I am done talking for now, because what I'd like you guys to do is tell me what your plan is. You guys can talk it out. Do you want to head straight back to Thebes? Do you want to stop and talk to a certain group of people? Do you want to just have me kind of run you through the story back to Thebes? Or there's all kinds of options you can do. You can say, I want to go on a side quest. I'm not going to stop you, whatever you want. So whatever you'd like to do. Casey, thank you for the raid. Did things not
you're
work out with
welcome.
the...
I'm just, oh my god, this camera is driving
Pissing
me
you off?
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good. I'm like,
All right. Well, welcome everybody from Casey's stream. Welcome. Glad to have you here, and we'll be playing here. So, I'm so sorry about your camera. That's lame.
oh no, I
Okay,
might
so
give up soon.
that's okay. Hey, just let me know. I'll put a.
Yeah, if you want to just turn off your camera, I mean, no shame.
Yeah, I might do that, and you can just put up my thing.
I'm just leaving the names up today, so just change your name to Egrid on Zoom, and it'll show
Okay.
you're in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that said, talk amongst yourselves. Feel free to talk about what happened at the mansion. You 4 have not talked about what happened at the mansion. You talked to the slaves, but you really haven't talked to each other about how your plan went. Do you feel like you were a good team? Do you feel like, is there anything that you need to talk about to each other or say to each other? Things like that.
Well, I solemnly swear not to break any more expensive painting.
What do you guys say to that? As
How
Fergus said
about
that.
you solemnly swear to maybe put lives before a stupid object, Fergus?
Man, she was a maid and she didn't have cat ears on. I don't want to hear it.
Oh my god.
Look, what would he have done though? He's like 3 feet tall. Pick her up and throw her out the window?
Bro,
Maybe
your
help
new
her get out
snake's bigger than
faster.
me.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so as you guys kind of have your breakfast together and eat with each other and kind of discuss what happened, there are some things that you might want to talk about. For one, Moonsy, your character Crocus, as she is holding on to the seed of your mother, the seed of Moira, you are holding on to the most powerful magical item that the entire group has ever seen. It radiates, and as you walk around and just as you sleep, things grow around you like small tufts of grass and little flowers as you walk underneath your feet. little small pink flowers kind of grow out of the ground, even out of the dry dirt that you walk on as you guys are heading towards Thebes. And when you sleep on the ground, when you wake up in the morning, you're surrounded by sunflowers and different kinds of plants, and there's even a small grapevine that's like running underneath you. And as you wake up, you're kind of like you're kind of uncomfortable, maybe a little bit, as there's just like shit that's kind of all grown under you, and you kind of roll over and avoid crushing any of it. And yeah, this seed is radiating magical energy that everyone can really kind of feel coming off of you. It's very powerful. So, as party members, how do you think you would react to that? Just feel free to talk it out. Imagine you're your character. Think, if you were Fergus, what would Fergus think of this situation, of the life that he's living right now compared to his old life? Egrid, you can think of what you feel in terms of your own kind of religion, or if things are changing for you, or if you have anything you want to say, you know, make a statement about anything that's happened so far, or the people that have died, or any of that, you totally can. Shisa, same with you. So yeah, feel free to talk it out. Just we'll just practice some role play right now, just talking to each other in character.
So what's going on with that seed?
It's just kind of doing its thing, you know.
Have you tried planting it?
Well, Egrid, we just spent an entire journey getting it out of the ground. I don't think I'd want to put it back in the ground.
I guess I'm just kind of curious. What does it do?
I mean, I guess we could try.
I reckon you plop it in a glass of water, you know, like a grow your own boyfriend type thing, you know, grow your own parent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what the seed does, but I feel like maybe we have to collect all of the stuff for all of us before we can find that out. Or I don't know. It's confusing.
We have to go to Thebes first to find out where the next quest is, though.
Who do you think is next?
I don't know. Maybe the seed will tell us.
I think it could be me.
You know what, Egrid? I think it could. The seed is whispering to me.
Roll a deception
Is that
check.
what it's telling you?
Roll a deception check.
I'm gonna find it. D. Press the D. Dunk.
Press
4.
Press the D.
Egrid, go ahead and roll an insight check. Oh, wow! That was close. Egrid, she's like, she kind of sounds serious, but you're not sure. She might just be hallucinating the seed thing. You don't think that it's even talking to her, probably.
Are you sure about that? I don't know. Seed doesn't seem to be doing anything.
No, trust me, Egrid. Seeds can speak.
Yeah,
No.
Egrid, she's right. I can hear it too from far away. I can hear the seed from here.
Is it
sounds
Moira? Moira, are you in there?
Oh my God!
Is she a dog?
Yes.
According to Moonsy's
That
Twitter.
explains a lot.
So, as you're all having this conversation, you hear a voice, Crocus. You hear a voice. My daughter, there is no need to poke fun.
Oh.
She kind of laughs a little bit, enjoying seeing you and like laughing, seeing you smiling. You can tell that she is looking at you from somewhere, is kind of observing what's going on and enjoying the fact that you have people here that you're talking with and enjoying the company of. And she says, I do not know who is next, but it will be nice to see my own brothers and sisters soon.
It
What do
will
you
be
mean?
nice. I'm speaking to the seed.
What's it saying? What's it saying?
Ingrid, it's speaking words of wisdom to me that I cannot relay back. So true, bestie. So true.
Sheesh. Oh my god, I hate this. All right. So, yeah, you notice that Moira doesn't have a ton of. It seems like she doesn't have a ton of energy to be able to communicate with you all the time. But once in a while, like when you ask her a question, she's able to try and answer as best she can. The power that you're holding is mostly from your connection with this magic item. You practicing kind of passing the seed around. Nobody seems to get quite the ability from it that you do. You have a connection to it that's unique. And you, of course, it makes sense why.
Give me the seed, don't be shy.
Oh, it's my seed.
Somebody clip Ross saying, "Give me the seed," and then send that to his sugar daddy.
Yo, speaking of, I want another one. So if any, no.
Oh my
What?
god. So
Wow.
we went there. All right. So continuing onward, I'm gonna assume this whole time that you are all traveling back to Thebes. It's a few days journey, and as you're traveling back, you find a spot to rest for the night. And as you're all making camp and kind of hiding off the path a bit, you feel like you're actually pretty close to a spot that you remember from your journey up here. Looking out, the sun is setting, and you can kind of see off in the distance a pit. And that pit has a large bridge that kind of goes across it. And this kind of ravine / bridge that you walked on before is the same place that you had met the original slaves that you had talked with, and they kind of lied to you, and you let them pass you, but you let them pass you because you understood that they really seemed like they were in a rush, and letting them go, you probably saved their lives, as well as defeating and further... the words I'm looking for are, you made the slave driver presence in the area much smaller with your actions, is what I'm trying to say. And with that, you know that they were headed towards Thebes as well. You also know that you have a side quest for a serial killer that was headed towards Thebes. So Thebes seems like it's a good place that you're ready to kind of head towards and get there. Is that what I'm assuming? Is you guys aren't going to try and go on any other side quests or anything before you get there? You're just going to head straight there?
Do we want to catch a serial killer today?
No.
I reckon we've been distracted enough. I reckon we need to plant the seed, and we need to maybe not necessarily plant it, but we need to open it. Let's get a nutcracker. Let's plant it. Let's do something.
Don't
I reckon we
crack
go back
my
to Thebes. I reckon we go back to Thebes, and we speak to that wise old dream man that was there, not the Minecrafter, the fucking man with a stick.
All right. So, do you guys want to try planting the seed and see what happens? Or you can ask Moira if you want, Crocus. You can ask her what would happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her. Hey, mom, what will happen if we tried to plant you?
Well, if I remain in the soil for a day or so, the growth in this area will spur to life, and there will be many plants and animals who will thrive from the power. But it can be dangerous and harmful to an ecosystem to plant that kind of power in it out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah, we better not do it, you guys. Let's no. Can't harm the ecosystem, you know?
She says, I have noticed you have an ability to grow creatures and useful objects. You must have gotten that from me.
Probably. I don't know where else I would have gotten it.
I didn't know if it was from your druid magic or not, but I think this looks like my work.
I agree.
I have a question for you before I must rest.
Go for it.
That young man that was with you when you found me, I believe you called him Keys. He seemed confused, and you righted him. Did your father not tell you all the truth?
He never told me. I had to find out for myself.
That silly man.
Silly indeed. I agree.
Knowing him, he was probably trying to protect you.
Probably.
It has been a long time since I've seen him. Many
Do you
years.
like to see him again, maybe?
I would very much like that, as I do not know how much longer I have left. And
Hopefully, maybe.
I do not know how much longer he has left either. Did he find someone? He must have.
He did, but she unfortunately passed away.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think he hasn't seen anyone since.
I should say this before I need to rest, but Crocus, I am sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's okay.
I will talk to you soon. Be safe, my child.
Will do. Rest well. Rest well.
The rest of you, as we kind of zoom out from this conversation, the rest of you just staring at Crocus.
I'm crying. I'm over here crying.
So,
my little seed.
as the campfire crackles in the night, and you hear an owl in the distance.
Yeah.
Anything you guys would like to do with any of the items you found? Egrid, if you want to play around with flight, you can. Practice that a little bit.
Hi, you guys. Watch this. And I start trying. I guess I'll try to fly.
Okay. So as you activate the hair clip, you feel these kind of air-like wings come out of the back of your armor. They kind of shudder the armor a bit with a shake. You hear all kind of the metal kind of clang together, and you all watch as these wings that kind of look like they're made of mist kind of sprout out of the back of Egrid's back, and they begin to
See? I'm an angel.
My God, she's flying!
I'm an angel.
Fly, Ingrid, fly!
I think it's this hair clip.
So, as you're kind of floating there in the air, it's pretty easy to float. It's pretty easy to go, like, just kind of like float in one spot. But to start moving is a bit harder. You are kind of in the middle of a forest, like with dense trees at this time. So, on one hand, there's a lot of things to run into. On the other hand, there's a lot of things to also stop you so that you don't, so you can like maneuver and that kind of thing in practice. So, with that, what I'd like you to do is roll me a dexterity check. So in the very top where your skills are, it says strength, dexterity, constitution. The very top of your character sheet on the top left, click on the little number under dexterity.
The little number.
Yeah, the little number. There you go. Perfect. A 16's pretty good. So the way this works is the more you practice with these wings, the more bonuses I'm going to give you to your flying ability. Since this is your first time, this is a pretty good first time. So you've kind of skipped a few steps. If you had rolled poorly here on your dexterity check, I'd have to have you make more checks to become kind of masterful with these. But with a 16, that's pretty good. So you begin to kind of fly away from the party around some trees. You do a loop around and fly up into the canopy of one. You kind of smack your face on one of the branches a little bit and wobble yourself and stop yourself on one of the trees. And then flying around this tree, you kind of bump your shoulder onto another one. And it's not perfect. It's not elegant, but it is practice. And it's good practice. And you feel like you are creating a connection with this item in a way that will allow you to use it better in the future. So next time you roll a dexterity check to practice with your wings, you will get a, well, we're going to say a +2. So I'll try and remember that. If I forget, remind me. But we'll say you get an extra +2 to your flight check next time. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So you practice that. You fly down. Let's do one more roll. Let's do a acrobatics check to land. So this is the last check for you. Acrobatics check to land. So acrobatics is in the middle, kind of long middle column of your sheet. All right. So with the 5, the flight was good. Like flying, you got down. But with the 5, as you kind of go in for the landing, it's as you scrape across the dirt and right next to the fire, everyone's watching you as you literally just ate some dirt.
Another graceful landing.
Yay, Grid! Woo!
Yeah, good job. Maybe next time land on your feet, but good job.
Leon
What
says,
was that massive thud?
I did land on my feet.
Derek, care about that, pal.
It didn't sound like it.
I did that on purpose. I was doing that on purpose. I wanted to fool you all.
You've really got us, Igor.
Well, at least we can say for sure you're not a cat.
Speaking of which, I forgot to mention you have a cat, and
Oh, true.
they have been enjoying the company of you. Egrid, I'm assuming that you don't take the cat flying with you for hope of not killing it.
Not this time.
Okay, so
I think I want to try to practice conjuring my snake.
okay. So with the Find Familiar spell that you know, this particular item takes about 10 minutes to change back and forth between its shapes and be fully functional. So you need like a good 10 minutes to be able to, currently you need about 10 minutes to be able to shapeshift it back into a finger or out into an animal of some kind of your choice. You can change its shape. So
How many times can I do this a day? Like, can I just do this once, or can I do it as much as I want?
for this, I would say, that's a tough one. I think I would say probably once per day it can go in and out of its form.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're sleeping after this, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll just practice pulling him out. I'll start on the process, I guess, the 10-minute timer.
Okay. And the more you do this, the more that timer will go down.
Nice.
So, with that practice, go ahead and roll me an animal handling check. We'll do that. An animal handling check. All right. With a 12, that's not so bad. So, with that practice, you're able to kind of order it in the way you want. And that 10-minute timer is now about down to 9 minutes to kind of be able to do what you need to do. So, every time you roll a 10 or higher on this check, this animal handling check per day, that number will go down. And if you roll we'll say a 17 or higher, that'll go down by 2 minutes to a minimum of one action, which would be 6 seconds. That'll be the minimum it can go to, which would be one action during combat.
Yeah, I was just thinking like I can just spawn him at the beginning of every day pretty much to avoid that issue, so that way I don't have to wait 10 minutes during combat.
Yep. So with that, 10 in-game days is a long time. So just know that in this travel, you're going to get maybe one more day before you hit Thebes. And then from there, time's gonna quote unquote slow down for you as players. Your characters, it'll stay the same, but like between sessions, there might be less time to sleep or more time to sleep. It just depends on your decisions. But so yeah,
Okay.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys rest, you fall asleep to a deep slumber, and a familiar sight appears to all of you as large marble columns rise out of the blackness of your dreams and surround you. Statues of the gods begin to appear and rise out of the pitch black. And seated in the middle of this circular area of columns is an old man with a large scar across his face and a lightning bolt staff, who is sitting cross-legged on the floor and smiles as you all appear. And he says, "Well, hello, everybody. It looks like you were successful." And he's staring at Crocus.
We have the seed now.
This is good. He looks like he's straining, and he kind of cracks his neck a little bit, and he says, "The rest of you, I am proud of your accomplishments." As you're looking around, there are two people here that you weren't expecting to see in this dream with you. As Tyria is standing back against the wall, actually back against her parent statue, and she is cross-armed, leaning on the statue, staring at the conversation that's happening, but staying away from you all. And Neffy is near her parent's statue as well, but she is kind of pulling her skirt down a little bit and looking down at the ground, not really interacting too much with what's going on. But you do hear Tyria say, "Why am I here?"
Oh,
I
not
said-
you.
She gives you a snide look and she says, "And you."
And me. You're the one that deserted us when we needed you most.
She says, "It seems as you are handling yourselves without me. I have things I need to do."
Well, we definitely miss you.
She her stern kind of RBF face softens a bit when you say that. Her eyebrows kind of unfurrow and kind of go up in a diagonal shape that shows that she's concerned with what you said. And she kind of shakes her head and she says, "Don't."
And you too, Neffy.
Neffy continues to kind of ruffle her skirt a bit and continues to look down, and she says, "Thanks. I just needed to do this thing. I
It's
don't
okay.
think." She just kind of stops. Romulus says, "There is a reason that I picked all of you. You are not picked at random. There are other demigods here on the planet, but they are unable to reach me as you all were.
I guess they're just not as good as us.
Well, most of them are either too old, too young, or in some way, shape, or form unable to make it here, either on another plane of existence or on another continent unable to find a way over here. Not every god has the ability to," and he kind of snaps his fingers and poofs next to Fergus, kind of teleports next to Fergus, and he says, "Although this is a dream, you get the point. not every god can, you know. And then he snaps his fingers again, and he's next to Tyria, and Tyria kind of scoots away a little bit, and she says, "Can I go now?" And he says, "You may still be called on, Tyria. Your mother needs you." And she says, "Well, why don't you just have them find her then? She left me, so why should I go looking for her?" And Romulus says, "If that is what I must do, then that is what I must do. I will send the rest of them to find your parent if I need to. But I'd rather you do it." She says, "Well, I have people I need to see, and all of this seems ridiculous. I've never heard of anybody coming after anyone else. I don't hear of any killer going after babies and children and running amok across the continent, like you've said." And Romulus says, "He is well hidden. Do not forget his name. Gormok, the God Slayer. He has killed more gods on more universes than you have fingers and toes to count on." So Tyria goes, so 20? He goes, more than 20. More than 20. She just kind of shakes her head. She says, "Well, I've never heard of any of this, and I'd like to wake up now. Wake up now!" And as she says that, she disappears. Neffy, continuing to kind of ruffle her skirt, she says, I have a mountain I need to go to, and if I'm being honest, I don't think I can help with this quest if I'm concerned with this." And she kind of points to the rest of her body, her kind of top half where she is human looking and looks like a woman. She points to the bottom half of herself that is the shape of a spider. And she says, "I was told that maybe there was someone who can help me with this, and then I know you all need me, but I'll come back as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm done doing this. I don't want to be distracted."
We'll see you soon, Neffy.
Romulus kind of appears next to you, Crocus, and he says, "That really should wait. This is more urgent than you might think." And Neffy says, I can't wait. I'm sorry." And then she disappears. Romulus is left with the rest of you, including Leon, who doesn't say much. And he looks around and he says, "Well, bring the seed back to Thebes, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do and how we will release your mother from her prison. We need to assemble..."
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It literally came out of nowhere. Jesus Christ.
So he says, "We need to assemble a team that can take down this creature. You all can't do it alone. You'll die. I'm sorry to say." He looks around at all of you and he says, "You look like you have done something. Like you have..." He looks at Sheesa's ear and the pin that is in the beard of Ygritte and the necklace around Fergus's neck that makes him invisible. And he says, I see you have some spoils. What is it that you have done?
Oh, well, we've done a lot, actually. We went to the middle of a field and we found that seed and we got some other stuff. I got this hair clip that makes me fly.
He smiles. Already acting like heroes, I see. Well, the world is lucky to have you. Let's hope that it stays that way. Because if you die, all hope is lost. And as he says that, you all wake up. It's morning. Birds are chirping. You all look around, like you kind of burst yourself awake all at the same time, looking around. Do you say anything to each other?
Good morning.
Morning, bestie.
Morning, besties.
I think I'm gonna wake my finger up.
All right.
Oh.
So
Wait, my finger's already awake.
No!
Oh no!
Oh.
Put it away, Fergus!
Be gone!
I can't.
Why is it so big compared to your body? What the fuck?
My little fucking flap doesn't cover it properly. I'm sorry. I need new trousers. Someone buy me some trousers or something. I don't know. Hi.
I seriously wake up my finger snake though.
Yeah, animal handling check.
Okay. I'm not handling Fergus's animal, okay? It's mine.
No one's handling my animal. What the fuck?
Dom's like, you need some help, buddy?
Dom, get to fuck.
Well, we all do this for each other. It's kobold. It's kobold.
Listen, Dom, I know we're good pals, but Jesus Christ, man, that was back in the
Damn,
olden days.
Fergus, you live like this?
Bro. Listen. I can't help it.
Poor
I
Fergus.
I was having a very erotic dream where, I don't know, things were happening. And listen, I'm sorry.
What
Okay?
do you mean?
Crocus is right there. Look at her innocence.
What?
You took it from her.
Well, listen, Crocus, I'm sorry. Anyway, should we go to the pub and have a pint?
But yeah.
So animal handling was a 3. So not seeming like much improvement in this particular.
Yeah, I was a little frazzled.
Yeah, a little distracted. Too many snakes in one area.
Well, most of them have already left anyway.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
I'm so tired.
I'm so no. Okay.
I'm kidding.
The characters, not the players, obviously. The characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course, that's what I meant, obviously.
He's talking about
Obviously.
how his staff deflated.
What?
Girl, she didn't deflate. I ain't got problems down there.
What?
I'm so
You're telling me
done.
when you get caught red-handed, it doesn't go down? It gets harder.
Okay.
I'm just used to performing.
No more.
I'm gonna add 18 plus to the
I'm
title.
sorry, Crocus. I forgot you were here. We're done. I'm sorry.
18 plus.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I'm just trying to eat my chicken nugget.
I don't have enough money for chicken nuggets. All right. Update information. Okay, it's an 18 plus stream now. Okay, guys. All right.
Please let me eat my.
So we're talking about fingers here, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Duh. Anyway. So. That's good shit. Clip it and ship it. All right. With that, you guys enjoy your morning together, kind of joking around, having a jovial time together, and continue on your journey back towards Thebes. On your way, you come across very few people. A woman and her child on the back of a horse who are riding in your direction just pass you with a nod. The child kind of reaches out and waves at you with a smile as he kind of nuzzles his face into her back, and they continue down the road. You see a cart full of merchants in a beautiful painted red cart with green emerald wheels that rolls towards you. And as they approach, you see in the front, there is a human who is driving the cart. He has this thin curled mustache. And as he goes by, he says, "Well, folks, do you need to purchase anything on your way to where are you headed, Thebes?" He kind of stops next to you. You're still moving. If you'd like to stop, you can talk with him if you want. Looking to purchase any items, maybe?
What are you
Oh,
selling?
sir, what do you have in your wares?
Are you mocking me, little creature?
Absolutely not. I'm from a distant town called Londonia.
Yeah,
Roll a
he
deception
totally talks like that.
check. Roll a deception check with advantage. You can roll twice, take the higher number. Because you have Shisa helping you.
I got you, bestie.
So you could do shift click or you got it. Oh, natural 20. Okay. All right.
God.
So he kind of twirls his mustache a bit and he cocks an eyebrow at you and he says, "Well, I've never heard of that town before, but of course I'd be willing to show you my wares." And he kind of pats his hand on the side of his cart, and as he does, the side of the cart opens up into what looks like a little stall with items in it. As you're looking across some of the things that he has a mix of weapons and clothing items that you can purchase. All of the clothing items are of the kind of ritzy, rich party variety. So you've got top hats and suits, dresses, that kind of stuff that look like they're all fairly expensive and very ritzy. And the weapons that you see, one is a beautiful crossbow that has engravings on it. One of them is a rapier, which is like a fencing sword. That's what a rapier is. So you see one of those. And the last thing that you see is a pair of silver daggers with engravings on the blades. And all of them are priced for whatever you're interested in. You just tell me and I'll tell you what the price is. And if you're not interested in anything, you can say fuck off and he'll ride off. But
Oh, well, sir, I see you've got 2 silver daggers. I personally, I've got 2 iron daggers, and I would quite like an upgrade. How much damage do you think these daggers do, my fine fellow?
he says, "Well, they probably do just about as much damage as a regular dagger, but they are prettier."
I do like a bit of fashion-scape, me.
Oh, of course. He kind of nudges you.
How much for these daggers, my dear? Well, I think you should knock a little bit off the price for your little old chum, Fergus. You know, we sound like we're
He says, "Are you sure you don't want to buy some clothes? You're wearing a loincloth, sir."
Yeah, do you have some pants in this size, maybe?
I do, of course I have pants in his size. He's the size of a gnome.
Well, what kind of garments of trousers do you hold, my friend?
Well, take a look at these. He shows you some, like black dress pants. He shows you some khakis. He shows you, just like dress pants of any kind of color you might be looking for. And he says, "All of these are perfect for your size, and I can sell any of them to you depending on what color you want. And of course, we could get you a top to go with it as well, and maybe even a hat. You look dashing in a hat."
Oh, do you have any of these? I've had this new craze in the town over from here. I think it's called top hats. Do you have a top hat?
Of course I have a top hat. Are you kidding me? Fergus, he kind of slaps you on the shoulder. Of course I have a top hat in every color you could want.
I will allow my friends here to take a little browse at your wares while I have a think about what I'm going to purchase.
No, just having a bit of a thought, are you? Okay, of course.
Yeah,
That's great. because I am scheming in my head that maybe I can make a gold item with my earring right now to get some extra moolah for my buddy. But I don't know if we're going to be returning to this specific store, so
It is a traveling cart, so you're not sure if you'll come across him again ever in your life.
Yeah, exactly. I'm rubbing my hands together too. You just can't see it. Okay, I'm gonna turn something into I'm gonna pull a loaf of bread out of the back of my rucksack and break it in half, and then turn the half of bread into a bar of gold.
Okay, roll me a stealth check while you're doing that.
Okay.
You can roll with advantage, since this would be a pretty easy thing to hide. You just turn around and do it, but still, you need to like say the.
Is that
magic
control
words and all
click?
that. What'd you say?
Do I control click?
Shift click.
Shift click. Okay.
Okay, 18. He's gonna roll his perception check. Okay. As you turn around and turn half of a loaf of bread into solid gold, it becomes heavy and in your hands as you're holding on to it. And it's about as much as like a bar of gold.
Okay, and then I walk up to him and I go, "Hey, sir, I was just wondering how much you would give me for this right here."
Oh my goodness! He holds out his hands to take a look at it and slides a monocle over one eye.
Whilst he is inspecting this golden loaf of bread, I am going to try and sneak behind him and steal both of these silver daggers.
Oh no!
Fergus!
Oh no!
All right.
Oh my god!
Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
Did he go? Oh my god, Fergus!
Oh, these are some lovely looking silver daggers, my friend. What do you mean? I wasn't trying to steal these. I wanted a closer look.
Okay, hold on. We'll do the inspection first. So as he's inspecting, he takes a look over this golden piece of bread. He goes, "Is this a golden piece of bread?" He's kind of confused as he's looking at it with his monocle. I've never seen workmanship like this before. Has a sculptor made this for you or something?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. This is definitely not bread. It's certainly gold.
Oh, I mean, obviously it's gold. It's not bread, but it looks like a sculpture made to look like bread.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just, we were fighting some bad guys, slave owners. You know how those guys can be.
Oh, dastardly fellows.
Yeah, they just collect the weirdest shit, don't they? I found a tip of a finger the other day. I was just like, what are these men into? I don't know. But yeah, I found this. I know it's strange, but I just need some money right now. So I was just wondering how much I can get for it.
Well, if you got this from a slave trader, maybe I shouldn't take it. I'll give you 100 gold pieces for it.
200 gold pieces.
He kind of goes aghast because, "Oh, madam, this is blood money." He kind of hands it back to you. I could never.
What if I told you that it came from a nice slave trader who didn't kill anybody. He just was kind of mean to them when they did bad things.
Roll me a persuasion check.
He was a nice slave trader.
He says, "Well, if he was not dastardly, 150 gold pieces is the best I can do."
Okay, deal.
All right. So you go ahead and add 150 gold pieces to your inventory.
I'm freaking rich. Let's go.
Bag secured. All right.
Yes.
Then he, as he's handing, he turns around actually to grab the money, and he sees Fergus kind of approaching the daggers, and like as you're kind of reaching up for them, since it's like a natural one, he just sees you immediately, and he's like, "Well, if you'd like to look at the daggers, I could grab them for you, Fergus."
Oh, that would be fantastic, my friend. I just didn't want to interrupt your current transaction.
Sure, just give me a moment, of course. Just let me grab this gold.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just very impatient, my friend. Sorry.
Oh, of course. As we are allowed to be, as we are so rich, impatience is kind of given with the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes.
So he opens up a little cabinet and grabs a little gold sack and pours out 15 platinum into your hands, Shisa.
Okay, so I should put 15 platinum.
Yes, 15
All
platinum.
right.
Each worth 10
Thanks.
gold.
Sick. I already have a 240 gold. I'm so rich. Oh no, 220.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Daddy.
I'll
So-
pay for anything you need, Fergus. Like seriously, if you need that dagger, you get it.
Well, I don't particularly. I don't know. Silver daggers might be nice, but I think a pair of trousers might be better.
Oh, it's okay. You can keep the trousers off.
Okay then. Well, Mr. Traderman, I will respectfully. You have some very fine wares, but I don't think I want to. I think we're going to hold on to my pennies for now.
Well, you wouldn't even like to look at the daggers?
Well, there's just one thing I've been meaning to tell you. I've been having you on this entire time. I'm not actually from Londonia.
His eyes get all big and he goes, You have duped me?
Aye.
Well, Fergus, I thought we were friends.
We are friends, and friends take the mickey out of each other, and that's what I've just done, pal.
Roll me just a straight charisma check. So in your top where your skills are, in the very top left, the far right one is charisma. Click on the little number.
Bruh. My roll.
Not so good today. He says, Well, I don't feel very friendly with you anymore, Fergus. Unfortunately, I don't like liars. Not like Shisa here. She tells the truth.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry. Fergus here is just a little trickster. He's a really good guy at heart, I promise.
I should keep him on a leash then.
I might as well.
What the fuck did you say to me?
Whoa, dude, did you just say to put him on a leash? I cannot believe the audacity that you have to say that. That is so offensive.
It's a figure of
That's
speech.
a bit speciest.
That's not what I meant at all. He looks really flustered, starts closing up his shop. If nobody wants to buy anything, then I'll be on my way.
I reckon you need to give me 10 gold pieces for being speciest.
Not going to happen, Fergus, you liar.
I'm just gonna kick some rocks
So are
and
you
dust in a
saying
general direction.
Every one of his species is a liar.
I never said anything like that, and by the way, I duped you, Shisa. I gave you much less money than this was worth. This was worth at least 200 gold pieces. And he begins to ride off.
I can't believe you did this to me. You'll rue the day.
You'll never see me again, I'm sure.
By the way, the bread's fake, you piece of shit.
Impossible. I looked at it. It's perfect.
God damn it, my bread! My gold bread!
You'll
No!
never see me again. You'll never see me again, so you'll never be able to get back at me.
No! I can't
Spits in
believe
his general
it.
direction.
If only I was strong enough to kill you!
No, goodbye.
Bye!
So he rides off. Man, he had some good wares too, man. You guys didn't want any of that shit? All right.
I just
No,
want
we just wanted to play with him.
SMH my head. SMH my head.
SMH my head. All right. So you guys continue onward on your journey. And coming up to nighttime, you're about half a day's out from Thebes. Now, as you find a spot to rest in this area, you are made keenly aware that you are not alone in these woods. As you are making your camp, you hear the cracking of twigs in the distance, and the campfire doesn't seem to light up enough of the area, and your dark vision doesn't see out far enough to hear what it is. But as the night rolls on to about 9 o'clock, you do begin to hear this kind of cracking noise as a creature is seemingly in the woods with you. Now,
Egrid, can't you just like make us fly to Thebes?
Well, I don't know if I can make all of us fly. I could fly to Thebes, and perhaps that's not a bad idea. I could just set forth myself now.
Egrid,
Perhaps I'll try. Hairpin, take me to Thebes.
please.
I leave these people behind. I'll see you when you get there.
Egrid, don't leave me with them. No.
So Egrid, as you say that to the hair clip, nothing particularly happens. It doesn't like take you places when you tell it to. You've got to kind of control yourself.
Oh, it's not working.
It's not like a magic
Blast this thing.
So you still are able to fly if you want to practice your flight.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity check. All right, with a 9, we add 2 to that one, so that's 11. So flying around in this particular training session, you don't seem to improve too much on your flight, but you also don't digress at all. You don't like unlearn anything when you do these. So this one's just kind of a net neutral on your skill gain. Not much. You kind of fly around, bump into some things. It's dark, kind of flustered. Not a whole lot of headway on learning this. But what you do is you scare off whatever creature was in the woods.
Oh, okay.
It begins to kind of run away as it starts hearing you bump into things.
Oh, that's strange. I see something running away.
If you'd like to
in
chase
that
after it, you may.
direction.
It's up to you.
I guess I will.
Be careful, Egrid.
Hi, where are you going?
Okay.
Wait up.
Flying after it, go ahead and roll me one more dexterity check here. Okay. So with a 15, flying after it, you see the butt of this creature, which is fairly large. It's furry, and it is brown, and kind of in the darkness, it's, what's the word? It is moving aggressively away from you, and you hear it, the noise of it as well as you are chasing after it. It's kind of giving like a and it looks like it was a big brown grizzly bear that that was kind of chilling in your area a little bit, that you scared off with the noise, and it is running away from you. As it looks back, you see its big brown eye gleaming in the moonlight as it looks back at you.
Oh, that's strange. It looks like that was a bear. There's bears in these woods.
All right, so you head back to the group. You tell them that. Everyone is kind of made keenly aware that there is bears in these woods. And what I'd like everyone to do right now is roll me a perception check before they go to bed. Perception check.
Yo, it's bedtime. Ba, 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 ba.
Don't know why I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference, but I don't know.
If it ever does that and we're just doing a straight roll, I'm just going to take the first roll, whatever the left-hand roll
Yeah,
is.
agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so 13 on Egrid, 13 on Fergus, 7 on Shisa, 20 on Crocus, and 20 on Leon. Okay, so Egrid, as you are heading to bed, you along with Fergus, you both start hearing some noise. It sounds like a... And Crocus and Leon, both of you kind of point your bovine faces in the direction of which it came from. So you hear this noise as well, but now with your extra rolls, you also know the direction in which it's facing. And Shisa, you don't really hear much of anything, but you see everyone else reacting. So with that, Crocus, what would you like to do? Leon is kind of waiting on your direction. You know which direction it is. It's like due south from here, and it sounds like a creature of some kind that's like calling out.
I want to go in the direction of the noise.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you start running in that direction. The rest of the party, are you
I'll
going
follow. Yeah.
with? Okay. I'm gonna say Leon goes with. Shisa, you gonna go with? Shisa?
Is hello?
She might not be here. That's okay. Fergus, I know, is going to do something. So we'll say everyone just goes with.
Okay.
All right? So everyone begins running in that direction. And that noise becomes louder. And as you're running in that direction, the first thing that you see is a man that is sitting next to a tree. His back is up against the tree, and his hand is covering his rib area, which is bleeding profusely. And he's groaning.
Oh my, he needs help. Can I do my... I don't know, I can... I'm looking through my spells. I have a healing spell somewhere, but I can't find it.
You have your
Lay on
you
hands.
have
Yeah,
lay
my
on
lay on
hands.
hands pool. Can I use that?
You could. So running up to him, the first thing that you see is this man is wearing leather armor, and he has his like a green hood that kind of comes over his head. He looks like he's elven. You can tell from his face. He's entirely elven. And he has a bow that's laying next to him, cracked on the ground.
Ooh.
And what are those? A quill of arrows that is leaned up against the tree. And it looks like it's almost out of arrows. And he is, again, he's holding his side, which is bleeding profusely, and he's groaning. And as you're approaching, he says, Hold, wait there, wait.
Wait.
So as you're all approaching,
Oh.
do you keep going or do you stop when he says that?
I stop and I guess I look around, so perception check.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Anyone who wants to look around.
P. Bonk. Good.
Okay. Fergus, did you follow with them, by the way?
Yeah. I had my headphones on. I was just getting water, but yeah, I came
Okay.
with everybody.
And then
Was
Shisa,
it
are you
perception
here?
you wanted to know?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, did you want to follow them as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I
cool.
just can't hear, so I'm just like, trying to like react to what they're doing.
Yeah, so you're just kind of following after them, wondering what they heard. But now you hear what they heard, which is this guy that was groaning. Fergus, you rolled a 12, Shisa 14, Crocus 6, and Egrid 14. Okay, so looking around, you don't see any creatures in the immediate vicinity. Anything in the immediate vicinity, just the guy who's sitting up against the tree. There is a somewhat snuffed out torch laying next to him. It's still embering, so it's still got some of the red embers coming off of it. But most of you guys can see him because of the dark vision that most of you have. And then if anyone brought a torch with them, you can say that now. If you wanted to light a torch and bring it with you from your campfire, you could have. Totally up to you. So do you think anyone would have grabbed a torch?
I always keep my torch by my side.
Okay. Sure. So we'll say that you're holding the torch, majestically shining off your armor. And with that, you don't see any creatures, but you all stop, I'm assuming, or does anyone go forward when he tells you to stop?
I stop.
I stopped too.
Yeah, I think we should all stop.
Okay, so as you all kind of stop in your traps, his shaky hand kind of points at what looks like a tripwire between two trees right in front of you. And he says, Trap. I set the trap. Come this way. And he points in a direction for you to go around the trap to get to him. So,
Okay.
As you guys see that trap now, he points it out to you. You narrowly avoid being hurt by that. And you walk around it going towards him. Now you're able to get closer. He kind of guides you around the trees so that you don't trigger any of the traps that he's set. And he says, What are you all doing here?
Oh, we were just staying for the night. We were traveling on our way to Thebes.
Oh,
What happened?
thank
Are
goodness.
you okay? Perhaps I can lend you a hand. Can I like restore some of his HP? Like
Yeah.
3 maybe?
Sure. So you give 3 of your lay on hands?
Yeah.
Okay. So you give him 3 of your lay on hands, and as you do that, the kind of yellowy white divine energy leaves your hand and courses into his wound. It kind of makes like a steaming noise, like a tss noise, as it seeps into his wound on his rib cage, and he grimaces and thank you. You're a magic user.
I dabble a little bit.
Mhm.
My name is Ygritte, daughter of Brash.
There's no time. The creature will be back.
What creature?
Creature?
There's tale of this creature out here in the woods. It's like a bear, but larger. It attracts those of its kind, cubs and adults alike. They call it the apex bear. And I was hunting it.
What were you hunting it for?
Yeah.
For the reward, obviously.
How
Lord.
much is the reward?
No. The council at Thebes is worried about the dangers it gives out here in the woods, so they are offering 500 gold pieces to anyone who brings its head to them.
Has it caused any trouble?
It has killed many.
Oh, shit.
So if we kill this bear, we'd be heroes. And rich.
Yes, but it ran off.
What direction did it go? How long ago? Perhaps we're not far behind it.
The opposite direction from whence you came. Behind me. And so the way you came, it went the same direction you were running is what it's saying, basically, what he's saying. So the same direction you ran to him, it went that way. So it's further in the direction you ran to get to him. He says, I've laid traps all around these woods. It's best you don't go hunting for it. It's intelligent. It's avoided all of my traps, and the only one it sprung didn't even seem to harm it.
So it's powerful.
Yes.
Perhaps we could use your help.
Maybe. But I'm in no shape. Maybe we can come out here and take it together sometime in the future. Are you resting somewhere?
Yeah,
we
we're
were
just-
heading to Thebes.
our camp is over there.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
May I rest with you for the night?
Of course.
Aye.
Okay. We must move quickly. I'll explain everything else once we get there.
Okay.
Please help me. And Leon leans down and he kind of puts himself on Leon's shoulder, like, supports himself on Leon's shoulder, and Leon puts his arm underneath his arms to kind of hold him up, and you guys walk back to camp. He does pick up the remnants of his bow off the ground, and as you walk by different traps, he takes a moment to and goes over and flips, unties some of the tripwires and disarms a few of the traps on the way to your place. And you notice that the traps that he's made are mostly net traps, which you can probably guess are probably why it didn't work. The traps are netting. Some of the netting has spikes in it, like sharp spikes that would hurt. There is one trap that is literally just a large hole that he's covered up with a net and leaves. that you guys were lucky to avoid.
Ooh.
And with that, he just kind of shows you some of that as you're going by, and you guys make it back to your camp.
Can I
Yes,
cast Cure Wounds on him?
sure. Go ahead and cast Cure Wounds. Go ahead and
Oops,
roll
I
the
think I hit it
healing.
twice.
Okay. So for 8, as you cast Cure Wounds on him, the magic that comes from you, how do you imagine your magic looks? Does it have like a color to it? Does it have like a nature kind of theme? How would you imagine your magic kind of manifest
Yeah,
itself visually?
I think it would have like a little bit of a green glow to it, I imagine.
Okay. So as you place your hand on him, the green glow kind of creates like a little bit of a moss netting across his wound, which then almost instantly heals it. You notice he had some cracked ribs, his flesh had been torn, and you also notice that something that he may have not even noticed, on his back was another claw mark that begins to heal as well. He may not have even noticed it from just the adrenaline that's pumping through him. And so as you use that healing on him, he says, "Well, thank you.
No worries.
Very kind of you. Thank you." He seems like he's feeling much better. So, you guys bring him back to your camp. You set him up next to the fire and lay out a bedroll for him. And he says, "My name is..." He kind of looks down at the ground. "You said your name was Ygritte, right?"
Yes. Egrid Stone God.
"What is it that you all do?"
You're adventurers.
I see. I can kind of tell. And he looking across you. He kind of just sees that you do look like adventurers. He says, "Well, my name is Victor. My name around these parts is not well liked. I am one of the best hunters in the area. I have made a lot of enemies in my time. And I take a lot of the work from many of the hunters around here." He says, "You're not hunters then?"
No.
Okay. Well, my home is back in Thebes, my wife and my daughter. And we can give you a spot to stay if you have none when we get back to the city.
Very kind of you, thank you. We'll make sure you get
Very
home
handy.
safe.
I need to restock on ammunition and fix my bow and grab my backup. And with all of us here, I might feel safe enough to bring my son out as well. He's
Do
just
it.
A,
Oh,
he's just
yes,
a boy.
please.
Are you sure you can take this apex bear on your own?
With all of us, we could do it.
Oh, well, yeah, with all of us, most certainly.
He obviously doesn't know about your quest or that you're on, kind of a time limit or anything like that. He doesn't know any of that. So, he's assuming that you're going to come back with him to Thebes and then immediately after you've all rested up, go out and take care of this thing and split the prize between a lot of you. You can tell that that's what he thinks.
Oh no.
You can talk to him. He's just a person. He's not unreasonable. He seems like a nice guy.
Right.
What is that look on your face?
Well, we just have to do some things before. So but we'd love to help you. We just have to like figure some things out beforehand. But we can get you home safely for sure.
Well, that is fine then. No worries. I'm not going to come back out here foolishly again without backup, so do not worry. I won't make that mistake twice.
No worries. Thank you.
The rest of you, what are your names?
I'm Fergus, pal. Good to meet you.
No,
My name's Shisa.
Shisa,
I'm Crocus.
Crocus. And you over there? And Leon says, "Hi, I'm Leon." And Dom says, "And I'm Dom."
You're dumb.
And he says, are you two related? And he points over to Dom and Fergus.
Ah, well, we may as well be. We grew up together. We've been friends for as long as I can remember.
I see. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you all. And my full name is Victor Mollareux. It's Mollareux. Mollareux. And I'll put that in our thing as well for you.
Finger.
So, with that, any questions you have for this guy, or anything you want to ask him, or otherwise we can have you guys go to bed.
Let's listen, pal. It's been a long day. I'm gonna pack
I'm
it in.
tired.
We'll let him rest. We'll let him rest.
Okay. So I will add this. Fight the. All right. So I've just added another side quest to your list here in the Discord. Okay. So, with that, you guys get some rest. Waking up in the morning, Victor has not stolen any of your things or wronged you in any way. He wakes up in the morning with you, and he seems well rested and much better as he says, well, good morning, all. I've been waiting on you all to wake up. I don't really sleep.
Oh.
What do you mean you don't sleep?
It's more of a meditation thing.
Oh, cool. All right, we had a friend who did that too. Oh, yeah,
Ah, you are familiar with elves.
yeah.
Huh?
We had one in our party.
Maybe I know them. What is their family name? Do you know? You may have never really asked or paid much
You
attention.
know, I don't recall.
I don't recall the family name, but she was part of the royal family. I think she was a prince. Her name was Tyria, one of the two. I can't even remember.
He's gonna roll a history check.
Yeah, history.
He says, I've never heard of a Tyria before, but apparently she's royalty, so good for her. What happened with that? Not with you anymore?
Too much of a royal to be mixing with us common folk.
Hmm.
Even though I'm also a royal.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, but I actually I see people equally regardless of class.
That is a good outlook.
I still carry my pedigree around though, just in case I need it, because it is a privilege, and I should use it when I can, but I need to make sure that I'm aware that I have a privilege and a lot of people don't.
Of course, that is a positive outlook to have on life, I think. And as I also have much privilege, comes with who I am. That said, I've thrown much of that out of the window with my behavior, but that's neither here nor there. So, shall we be off? It's about a half a day's travel back to Thebes.
Yes, I think we should be off.
Okay, well, I can lead us the way. If you all know the way, I can follow. It doesn't matter to me. I do appreciate all of your help, though. Thank you. And don't worry about any of the stuff I left out there, the traps or any of that. It's all disposable. It's all cheap. It'll still be here, I'm sure, when we come back. That, or it'll have caught us some nice deer.
Oh, very nice. So did you fall into your own trap last night, or
No, the creature. It came from me out of the shadows.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah.
It at first swiped at me so quickly. I felt this pressure on my back. I turned around. I didn't even feel any pain. It was more just like a push. And then this searing pain in my chest as I saw this shadow-like claw that was jammed into my rib cage. And as it pulled itself out of my rib cage, I could see my own bones and visceral, disgusting insides pouring out of me.
Yeah, organs.
It was not fun. But I was very lucky that you were there. Otherwise, I think I would have died.
Well, I'm glad we could have been assistant But
Good
I'm
thing you
glad we
didn't
could have been of
die.
assistance.
You know, one thing I did notice is that the creature didn't come back to finish me off. Whether that was because it was distracted by something else or because it was scared of you all, I'm not sure. But it could have
Imagine
easily.
a flying egret.
Well,
scaring
we do have a bit of a problem finishing stuff off here.
It has a strange power that it uses to contact actual bears in the area. I'm talking, natural animals. And they come and they flock to it. They follow its orders. Some of them act as scouts. Some of them act as warriors. It's like it controls them. Do you see any strange things happening with any of the bears in the forest?
I haven't seen very many bears.
You didn't see any?
This is
Well, I saw one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Right.
didn't get that good of a look at it, but I saw it from behind. It was very furry, and it had a huge ass.
Thick dumper.
Yeah.
He says, what was it? It was running from you?
It was running, I guess. I guess we might have spooked it off. I'm not sure.
That must have been one of the Apex Bear's scouts. It probably saw that you were here in the forest, and maybe that's why it decided to leave me.
It has its own scouts?
Yes, it controls the other bears and gives them orders.
Bear hierarchy.
That's strange.
Yes, we
There's a
don't
lot
know
of
much
strange
about it.
things in these woods.
Yes, we don't know much about it other than that it takes the shape of a bear and it has some kind of connection with the other bears in the forest. It is, aptly named the Apex Bear for a reason. Well, let us continue on. And, what kind of adventuring do you all do? You said you're adventurers. Just travelers, or?
how do we explain this?
We're like the justice. Oh,
No, we do like quests and stuff. Like, we took out like a couple of slave drivers. It's kind of cool,
Oh,
we
Mhm.
we
Public
like
service.
to right the wrongs.
Mhm.
Mm.
We
We're the good
some people
guys.
may call us a vigilante, but when you live in a world where there's nobody to hold people accountable, you got to be the person holding people accountable.
yes, I agree. I admire your outlook on things. That is, it is honorable. And, you're doing a service to all of us for taking out those slave drivers. Those scum of the earth.
Some don't see it that way. Some see it as we're a thorn in their side.
Well, then take them out too, right? He kind of laughs a little bit.
We're trying. We sure are trying.
Don't get in our way. We'll fuck you up.
He tells you a little bit of a parable. He says, when I was a young man, about 120 years ago, there was a slave driver in the area, and also elven. Her name was Miss Elia Darkshore, and she was one of the coastal elven slave traders of the area, and she actually came to our place of residence once, and wanted to purchase me and my sister from our parents. And she offered them a great sum of money. But I have wonderful parents that love me, and they did not give in to those. One day we were out hunting, and when we came back, our house had been burned down.
Ooh.
All of our belongings taken, and I can only assume it was Miss Elia Darkshore.
I see.
Yes,
She sounds like an evil woman.
yes. Well, from what I know about her, she is. And I'm sure she still runs the same area.
What does she look like? Is she hot?
She's a beautiful elven woman that wears all red. And she has
All
a coastal...
elven women I've known
Hmm.
have been evil.
Well,
Every woman that wears red is a temptress.
he laughs. He says,
It's
I'm not sure
true.
about that. That's kind of that's an assumption, isn't it?
What?
I was just trying to think of something that Egrid would say.
It's true. They're temptresses.
Her seaside mansion is on the eastern coast. If you're feeling brave enough to take her on, maybe you can.
Area. I'm sure we will.
He marks the spot for you on your map. So, quest unlocked. As you continue on, for the rest of the day you guys talk, get to know each other. He tells you more about his life and his family and just how things work in Thebes for him as he gets jobs to hunt different monsters and creatures. And sometimes if there's no monsters or creatures to hunt, he just gets a job to go out and hunt down a bunch of meat like deer or go fishing, or he's a very valuable fisher as well. He just tells you kind of how he makes his money for his family. Tells you his wife makes jewelry and sells it at the local market. He tells you about his daughter and how she goes to school there in Thebes, and his son is a dropout from the school that wants to be like him and wants to become a hunter as well. And his son's name is Elijah. So, as you are talking with him, do you guys tell him anything about your lives? As you get to know him, do you? He does ask once in a while. He says, "And what about you all? What was life like growing up for you?" He doesn't say it to anyone in particular. He assumes that you've all kind of been friends for a long time, even though you haven't.
I think
Well, on you
I think
go,
we're all
my-
just
my-
like looking at each other, waiting for one of us to speak first. Fergus,
On you
why
go,
don't
my
you go
Hannah.
first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. My childhood is interesting one to say the least. I unfortunately have no idea who either of my parents are. But I was very blessed to grow up with my good pal Dom over here. Dom is quite potentially the only member of family I have, even though we may not be blood related. We are bonded in spirit, and I'm very grateful for him.
He pats you on the back.
Otherwise, I kind of grew up in the caves, and we kind of grew up in the caves, and we had to scavenge and forage for ourselves. But we've made it here. We're big boys now, and we're on a quest with my friends who I've met a few months ago, roughly. I don't know. I can't track time very well. A few months ago, and yeah, we're just trying to find our way through the world, I guess.
Well, it seems like you're doing a bang-up job of it. And the rest of you? It's okay if you don't want to tell me. It's your
No.
business, not mine.
I grew up in a farm town, and my dad was a baker. So yeah, but now I'm not doing this shit. Kind of crazy. Yeah.
He looks down at your feet and sees the little grass and things that grow when you walk, and he says, "I mean, I have noticed that you have a connection with nature. And
I dabble with the ecosystem every now and then.
I see. Well, I dabble in messing with the ecosystem once in a while. I don't think killing the animals is part of the natural order of things, but
Do what you gotta do, you know?
he looks over at Egrid.
I don't like to think about my past right now.
I
It
don't
was
mean
hard
to.
leaving home.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. He
It's
just kind of
okay.
Do you need a hug, Egrid?
Yes,
Kirk is
thank you.
over. Gives Egrid.
her prickly
My
beard kind of rubs
parents-
into your chest area.
They disowned me whenever I left home.
It's okay, we're your family now, Egrid. It's gonna be okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're all so kind.
And you, Shisa, what are you like?
Well, I grew up in a town called Grenby, and it actually was a town where my family lived. Like we were the royals there, and I was next in line for the throne. I was the princess of Grenby, and I was going through training to become queen, and I just really didn't agree with the ways of my people. Um, Oftentimes with Yuan-Tis, they don't view other species as equal. They view them as lesser than and stupid because we actually can almost bend the minds of other people and use very, very intense deception.
Mm,
And I felt bad. I always felt bad manipulating other people. And I didn't think that people who, didn't have any money, the poor people and the serfs, like I didn't look at them and think that they were monsters or that they were any less than them. I felt horrible when I would see them starving and hurting and crying. And so one day I just picked up all my stuff and I left.
I see. Well, you seem to have strewn away from any of that negativity. It seems like you're doing good things in the world, taking down people who deserve it.
Thank you. I think the one thing that I always wanted was just a friend. I never really had that because they would always say everything was for power and everything was for money and nobody's your friend and everybody has it out to get you. And I totally disagree. I think the more friends you have, the more happy you are and the more human and the more alive and yeah, I just think those ways were so medieval and brutal.
I agree. I think that life is about the connections that you make with people. And his hood is down right now. You see that Victor's hair is this sleek, silvery color, sort of like Moonsy's hair in her camera right now. It's got this kind of silver color. It shines in the sunlight. His skin is a pale gray color, and his nose is long and slender. His eyes are a beautiful emerald green, and his chin kind of comes to a point. He's very handsome, and for his age, he's probably a middle-aged or so elf. And his demeanor is that of someone who is very wise, someone who is very knowledgeable, and someone who is very appreciative of people being genuinely kind to one another. He makes a remark. He says, none of you have asked me for anything.
We I mean, we're just here to help. We don't expect anything.
Maybe you could give me a kiss on the cheek.
He
He's
laughs.
married.
I am very flattered, but I do have a lady waiting for me at home.
Okay, it's fine.
He does smile a bit and brushes his hair kind of out of his eyes, and you see the beautiful ring on his finger as well as he does that, which gleams in the sunlight. And he says, yes, life is all about those connections and the people we love. The city's just over this hill. And as you guys reach the top of the hill, looking out across the horizon, you see the sun is at the peak. It's shining down and gleaming off of Egrid's armor. You're all standing at the top of the hill overlooking the city of Thebes with its large marble walls that surround the entire city. You see the gate that you came through, and you see smoldering rubble and smoke rising from inside the city.
Uh-oh.
Oh my.
Are they
What is that?
Are they having a bonfire? Like,
As you look down at the city, Victor turns to you all, and then with his eyebrows furrowed, he looks back at the city. You look back and you see buildings scattered across the city, collapsed and on fire. Smoke rising up into the sky, creating large clouds.
We must try to save the city.
oh my god.
Make haste.
The back half
Can
of
we
the
just
city,
start running towards?
as you're
Yeah.
running, you see a good look at the city. The back half of the city is completely destroyed, laid waste to, flattened. The wall that surrounds the city in the front where you're coming up to is totally intact, but in the back is completely destroyed. None of it left, just smoldering rubble. And the center of the city where you had the fountain and you went down into Romulus's chamber, you see as you're coming down the hill, you still get a really good look at this large city. You can see the center of the city. There's just a large crater in the ground.
It cannot
Oh
be.
my god.
What has happened here? Can we roll a perception?
Go for it. Whatever you'd like to roll here, you totally can. If you want to try and roll a perception.
Or investigation. It's the same thing, kind of.
This would
right?
be
I don't know.
perception since you're still kind of running down the hill. You're still about half a mile away from the
Yeah.
city.
Okay.
Fergus, did you want to roll perception?
Yes, sir. Doing it now. Perception. It's gonna do the double roll again. I don't know.
That's
It's
okay.
only perception because there's like a D beside it for some. I don't know.
Oh, that's disadvantage. Oh, it's because you're a kobold. That's why. It's because you're a kobold. You kobolds have sunlight sensitivity, which means that you roll with disadvantage normally. But I told you when you made your kobold that I wasn't going to count that. So whenever you roll perception, we'll just take the first one.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So
Cool.
normally it would be disadvantage because kobolds are supposed to be in the caves or whatever. But yeah. So Victor rolls a 22 as well, Procus. So most of you looking across the city, you don't see much. You just see the crater in the middle of the city, the rubble of buildings, and a few of you see and notice one building actually begin to collapse as you're looking at it. It begins to into a pile of rubble and smoke that comes up. Procus, as you're looking out across the city, Victor is standing next to you, and he is in a dead sprint towards the walls as he yells out, "Elijah!
Oh lord.
Lorella!" He's running towards the city.
Victor, wait! Just wait! Oh my god.
Run after him.
I
You
guess
see.
we have to.
So a couple things you see with the 22.
Okay.
First, you see that there doesn't seem to be any active explosions or active raiding or pillaging or anything going on in the city. You don't see anything that's like that caused this destruction is what I'm trying to say. You don't see what it was. You're not
Right.
sure. You're very sure that whatever caused this destruction was a large creature or a creature with intense power. You're not sure which. It could have also been an army of people that came through here. And With that, Victor notices the same thing. He's listening intently as he's sprinting. And so are you as you hear the sounds of people here and there.
Oh my god.
Help! Help! Please, please help me! There's rubble on me!
Can I do a perception and look around for anybody I can like pull out of the rubble quickly?
So as
Oh
you
boy.
run up to the city, the gate is open for you as you run through the gate that you had originally left out of. The sounds of people are sparse, just here and there, a person or a sound. Go ahead and roll me investigation checks, anyone who would like to. Or the sounds of people as you hear their voices hollering out in the now somewhat covered up sun.
Oh.
Okay. So this is investigation. We've got all right, so Egrid, you see a young man who looks like he is covered in burns and is sitting up against one of the buildings in this area. And you can see that he's barely breathing, but he's kind of out in the open in the middle of, in between two buildings. He's just kind of leaned up against it. He's covered in burns, and he's just, as you approach him, he's the most obvious person you see in the area.
Here. Let me
Shisa,
help
you see the
you.
same person.
And I cast my lay on hands pool. I'll just restore 1 HP.
Okay.
And I kind of ask him, what happened here? If you can say.
You can see he's missing most of the hair on his head. His skin is somewhat blackened and red. His nose is almost completely missing. As when you touch him to lay on hands on him, he and then he just dies. He falls over.
Oh.
Crocus,
No, this cannot be.
you see a younger woman whose lower half of her body is trapped underneath a large piece of rubble, and she is straining to try and get out from under it. You see like marble rock and flaming, not flaming, but embering wood that kind of surrounds her, and she's trying to pull herself out. And you see her, she looks like she's not saying anything, just grabbing at the ground and trying to pull herself out from underneath the rubble. Fergus, you hear what sounds like a very young girl, probably aged 10 or 12, inside of a building to your left. And the building looks like it is close to collapse. It's kind of rumbling, and you see some smoke billowing out of it as it's on fire as well. But you actually see her face is kind of sticking out of one of the windows, and she she doesn't holler to you, but she kind of she's like, "Psst, up here, and she's like waving at you, Fergus. Crocus, what do you want to do with your person?
Do I notice? Oh my goodness. What can I don't know what to do.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check for this woman. Okay, so looking around, you're not sure exactly how to get her out from this, but one thing that you do see is there is a small sprout of grass sticking up next to her, just sticking up from the ground, which you may be able to cast Blessing of Moira on.
I mean, there's nothing else I can do, so it's worth a try, right?
Okay, so as you close your eyes to cast Blessing of Moira, go ahead and pick which thing on that list you want to use.
Oh, okay. Let me go to actions and open it.
Leon runs over and he puts his fingers underneath the rock to begin to lift it off of her. Marble.
Oh no, I can't do that one.
I'll let you think about that while we go over to Fergus. So you can read through all those and you can decide which one you want to do.
Thank
As
you.
you're really focused on your power here. So Fergus, yeah. She looks like she's about 2 stories up, which is about 20 feet.
Okay. Fuck it. I'm gonna run up the side of the building. I'm gonna scale the building, and I'm gonna jump in the window with her, and maybe see what I can do. See if we can go out like that way, and if not, then bring her back.
Dom tosses you his rope, his 50 feet of rope, as well. So, he holds on to one end as you climb the building up to the 2nd story. Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check with advantage. And that's because you're a thief, so that climb speed is really good for you. All right, so with a 21, you scale the side of the building as you grab onto different ledges and pieces of marble that are kind of sticking out, and you climb your way to the 2nd story where you see this girl. She has dirt and smoke that seems to have seeped into her face and her clothes. Her hair is somewhat burnt, and it looks like it stopped. She was able to put it out, but about half of her hair is burnt as well. She looks like she is elven in nature, and she's kind of looking at you in desperation. She doesn't know what to do. So you have the rope in your hand. You have Dom waiting at the bottom with the other end of it.
Here. I'm gonna tie this rope to the bed and I'm gonna hold it. We're gonna keep it taut and you're gonna slowly lower yourself down the building. My friend is holding the rope taut. On the other side, you're gonna be completely safe. Just use the rope like you would a handrail going down the stairs. You'll be completely safe. Lower yourself gently. I have got you.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
You've got this. It's really, really easy. The hardest part is going over, but once you're over, it's exactly like walking down a set of stairs. You're just using the rope to guide yourself like a handrail. Very, very simple. This is gonna be it's either this or we're gonna burn in this building, both you and I, because I ain't leaving until you're out of here.
Okay, roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh my god.
Okay. With a 20, she nods her head and begins to follow your directions and scale down the side of the building. She's shaking a bit, but she's going to roll herself an athletics check. Wow. Okay. So she gracefully makes her way down the side of the building and lands safely next to Dom at the end of the rope.
Hey, I shout down. I'm like, there you go. I told you could do it.
I did it. I did it.
I'm gonna investigate the bedroom and see what's about.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Trying to get investigated in a bedroom too.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. 16. Looking around in this, it looks like it was just residential, mostly. Looking around, one thing that you do notice is what looks like a charred corpse in the hallway that is completely burnt, and looks like of an older person.
On fire actively, right?
Hmm?
The house is on fire, like the building's actively on fire,
It
right?
seems like most of the wood of the building has been burnt up, and now it's just like some small fires here and there, but the rest of the building is just marble framing. That's
Okay,
left.
okay. Okay, well, I'll investigate the body as well, I guess. Even though it's like a charred corpse, I don't know. I don't know.
Sure. I'm not even gonna make you roll an investigation on this one. As
Yeah.
you're looking at the corpse, it is just a completely charred and burned corpse, nothing valuable on it. What you can tell is this is not a place you're gonna find any value. It looks like it's just a bunch of people's homes that are mostly destroyed now. At most, you're probably going to find, if you went through every room of this place, you'd probably find 100 gold pieces worth of random knickknacks and things, but you'd have to go through every room, and it would take you 30 minutes. It's a large building.
Okay, then I'll just climb down and reunite myself with the elf and Domenico.
Okay. So you head down. Fergus, what'd you decide on? Or sorry, Crocus. Sorry, Crocus. What'd you decide on?
I'm gonna do number 9, so plump fruit that when eaten causes the enlarged spell on the person who ate it, and I'm gonna pick the thing off of the girl.
Okay, you got it. So you're going to cast the enlarged spell on yourself. You're going to eat the. Okay. So as you eat this plump fruit, your size begins to grow. And Crocus, you're already a fairly large person, but you grow almost an extra third of your size. And as you do, you start to dwarf Leon even next to you. As he's beginning to lift up on the rock, he begins to rage so that he can lift heavier objects. And you're going to go ahead and roll me an athletics check with advantage. And he's going to roll with advantage as well. Athletics with advantage. So roll twice, take the higher number. You can do shift click, or you can just click twice. Okay. So, with an 8, and then Leon rolled a 19 plus 5. So Leon is at a 24. He does most of the work in lifting this off of the lady, but you do help, you do assist as you lift this large piece of rubble off of her legs, which seem to be completely broken and cracked. As you're able to drag her out from underneath the marble rubble, and she says, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Her voice sounds very hoarse, and she coughs up blood onto the ground.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. Can I heal her?
You may if you'd like.
Wait.
Oh, your mic's broadcasting in roll 20, by the way.
Why did that?
Always watching.
Is that what you want to do, Crocus?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do cure wounds on her.
Okay. All right. As you cast Cure Wounds, her leg bones begin to snap back into place, and she lets out a gasp, and her voice becomes more normal sounding as she says, "Thank you so much."
What happened? What's going on?
Well, she looks back at the building that was on top of her, and she kind of lets out a sob. My family and I, we were just having dinner, and we heard a loud explosion-like noise, and looking out of the window, I saw a large flash of darkness across the city, engulf the entire city, and then this huge, massive flaming orb or ball or some kind of sphere engulfed the center of the city and expanded and exploded outward. All we could hear was screaming. I couldn't tell if it was from terror or maybe pleasure.
I'm gonna look around at my other party members for
Egrid, the guy you're with, is dead, so you overhear this conversation. So what you got is there was some kind of large flaming sphere in the center of the city that expanded outward and engulfed the entire city, knocking most of the buildings over. It makes sense because you're on the outskirts of the city that these buildings are even somewhat standing because they were the furthest away from the blast. But as you go further inward to the city, it becomes more and more like just soot and ash and with nothing left.
I can't believe this has happened.
my goodness.
I don't know what to do now. Can you explain what has happened? What sort of terrible force came in and caused all this? My heart can't take it.
So as you kind of plead out for guidance, go ahead and roll me a religion check, please. Egrid.
Hashtag religion check.
Roll with advantage. Sorry, I was going to have you roll twice. So.
Roll again?
Yeah, roll again. Okay. So, the D&D gods want you to have a 9 here. All right. A lot of low rolls today. It's okay. So, as you're thinking and kind of praying out to your own god, you don't seem to get a response, and the atmosphere around is one of confusion and despair as you hear out a holler from across the city. You hear out, "Oh God!" And you recognize Victor's voice from across the city.
No.
Oh no. What
No.
has happened? I
As you
start
all-
making my way towards the voice.
As you all rush in that direction, you all find Victor about halfway into the city, somewhat close to where the blast took place. And you see him holding on to... my voice won't stop cracking. You see him holding on to what looks like just piles of ashes that he has scooped into an area. And he's kneeling in front of a building that you can still see some of the brick and mortar foundation of, but the rest of the building itself looks like it's completely demolished. And in his hands, with the ash that he's running through his fingers, you do see what looks like some bones as well inside the ash.
No.
No.
He starts...
I'm so sorry.
He looks back at you, his calm and gentle demeanor broken, and with profuse tears running down his face, his nose covered in soot and ash, his face dirtied and muddied from his own tears mixing with the soot in the air. He looks at you, his hair disheveled from him running his own fingers through his hair, not knowing what to do. He looks at you and he says, What happened? What happened?
We need to find the old man. He knows. He'll probably know what happened.
What old man? This is Victor speaking. He just looks back at the ashes and bones that are in his hands.
He's the one who's guiding us in our adventures. I'm sure he'll have an explanation for this. He has to.
Okay. The girl who you brought with you, Fergus, as you run up to the party here, you're kind of the last to get here, as scaling up and down the building takes the most time out of the things that have happened. And as you run up, you have a survivor with you who is in rags. She's wearing like gray rags, and she, again, seems like she is elven in nature. And she says, Mr. Victor! Mr. Victor! And Victor turns around, the tears in his eyes as he looks back, and he says, Oh. And he begins to kind of break down in tears and crawls up to her as she kneels down next to him, and they embrace each other. And he says, This is Tori. And he pats her on the head. He said, one of my daughter's friends. He smiles. in the only way that someone who is completely broken can smile. He gently pats her on the head and says, "I'm glad you're okay, Tori." And then he begins to sob again and kind of cries into her shoulder. The rest of you, sounds like the plan is to go to where Romulus last was. So as you head in that direction, the buildings become shorter and shorter, smaller and smaller, more rubble and ash, to the point where it is burned down into nothing but soot in the area. And you find yourself to the edge of a large crater in the center of the city. In the center of the crater, what looks like a medium-sized black hole that goes down further into the earth. But the crater itself is 200, 300 feet towards that. So 300 feet to that hole, and then another 300 feet to the other side. So total, what is that, diameter of 600 feet or so. That hole in the middle, you remember, is the stairway that goes down from underneath the fountain. That fountain had a spiral stairway that went down into the earth. And that looks like what that hole is in the middle of the crater. So it goes down further. Looks like this explosion did not touch Romulus's lair.
I'm gonna yell down into the hole. Old man, are you down there?
No response.
Oh no. This just cannot be.
What are we...
Crocus, let's go. We have to go inside. We have to venture in.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Anyone else come in?
Both, yes.
All right. Fergus says, "Oh, you want me to stay back, or you want me to come with?"
Dom, do whatever your heart
Yeah,
desires,
sorry.
pal.
Dom, not Fergus. Sorry.
It's alright, it's alright.
He says, "I'll stay back here with Victor."
Okay. Stay safe.
All right. So as you venture down into the stairwell, you kind of swing your feet over the side and crawl your way into this hole and down the stairwell. Rubble across your feet that you kind of kick out of the way so you're able to walk down the steps as you all head inward. Do you think you would run, or do you think you would just kind of slowly make your way in case it's unstable, or what would you do?
Need to be cautious.
Okay. So Crocus, as you're leading the way down, you put your hand on the wall to kind of guide yourself. Normally it's kind of lit up in this area, but all the lights, the torches are snuffed. And you make your way down. Egrid, you light a torch, as you said you always do. And it lights up this area of the hallway, of the stairway. Find your way to the base. And at the base of the stairwell, looking out into the chamber that housed Romulus and the statues and the columns that you remember from before, all of the statues have been destroyed. Each one of them in rubble across the ground. And you see what looks like a corpse in the middle of the room, singed and burned.
Romulus. Is that you? No, I walk over to the body and I don't know, I investigate. I want
Just looking at it, you can tell the clothes themselves are singed but magical, and they seem unharmed in total from the flame. But the body seems singed and charred, and it is missing its head. It is just the chest, arms, legs. No head.
Can I investigate it?
Yeah, go ahead. Anyone who wants to roll an investigation check can.
Yeah, let's look in this dead body. Heck yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. Because this is a group check. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So, oh yeah, good rolls, everybody. Okay. So, looking across this body, this is definitely the body of Romulus, which has been... The head has been removed from this body. and looking across it, the clothes look like they're literally weaved into his skin, which is something that you would imagine for someone of his strength. These magical clothes were supposed to be there to protect him, but they did not protect him against whatever this was. And looking around, that's what you see on the body. If you'd like to roll an investigation about anything else, you may. There are the statues.
Where is his head?
You can look around for his head if you want. Roll me an investigation for that if you want to roll specifically for that.
Where is his head? Did they take his head? This cannot be.
Oh my god.
These rolls are insane. Fergus, give it another shot. Give me another investigation.
Sorry.
You good?
Where's the button? There she is.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Look at those rolls. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. Looking around, you guys don't seem to find the head of Romulus anywhere down here. But you do notice one thing, and it's kind of hard to miss because it begins to speak to you.
Oh,
On the ground beneath you, as you're walking around down here, looking around for his head, investigating, seeing the body, as you look around, a grinning mouth appears on the floor beneath your feet. Those of you standing next to Romulus's body are in the center of it. As it opens its mouth, you aren't swallowed up or anything like that. But the floor down here is still pristine and marble, so it shines and gleams. As you look down at it, you can see what it is. It looks like a large mouth with bleach white lips, some kind of red tattooing that goes across the top lip, and yellowy, kind of sharp-looking teeth that grin at you. And you hear a voice say,
Attempt number 27? I'm hoping you found your way down here by now. I didn't have time to wait around for you, so I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon. But I have the old man's head if you're looking for it. And, if you care about your own families, if you care about anybody in this world, I need you to meet me at the Southern Mountain in 1 week. I'll say this message again in about 20 minutes in case you're not here. God, it's fucking weird talking to myself. All right. Hope you're there. See you in a few.
Ah! Blast! This evil creature! Blast him! To hell with him!
We will
And
make
Ygritte
him pay
just
for what
falls
he's
to her
done.
knees, shaking.
Oh my.
We have no choice. We must find his head. We must go to the mountain and seek out this evil man.
What choice do we have?
We need to.
everybody
Does
roll
We
me a
anyone
need
know
history
to
where-
check, too.
prepare.
Roll me a history check,
need to
everybody. Fergus, finish what
prepare.
you were going to say as well.
Does anybody know how to get to these mountains? Has anybody heard of these mountains before?
I.
Okay.
Ask
Um,
Moira.
Who we waiting on
Ask
for?
your mother.
Jinx, go ahead and roll me a history check, please. Okay. Ygritte and Shisa. Couple things that you remember from your first conversation with Romulus. One thing that you remember, Shisa and Ygritte, you both remember this, is that Romulus implied that this creature, who you can assume might be Gormak, this creature if he knew who you were, really, if he knew who your families were, they'd already be dead. So this is a bluff.
Ooh.
He seems to have followed your trail to Thebes. He probably already knew about Romulus. It's almost impossible that he wouldn't know, seeing as Romulus is one of the last living gods. He wouldn't even be considered a god. Romulus would be considered more like a demigod type character. Being the historian, he's probably well known enough in circles that Gormak would frequent that he would know where to find Romulus if he wanted to. And he probably caught wind that you guys got here. You're not sure how, but you do recall that Romulus implied that this might happen. He said in your first meeting that he doesn't know what's going to happen once he sends you off on this journey. He said you might come back and Romulus might be dead. He implied that this could happen. He also implied that he would hide away in here for you to find your way to the next piece. He would hide something in this room, a hint for you on which god to go to next, which god to find, which relic to find next. So Shisa and Egrid, you both remember that. And you also remember that he very much implied that you should not go face him. Going to face him would be certain death for you. At this skill level that you have right now. So, Shisa and Egrid, you can share that information with the party however you wish.
I don't know if we're strong enough to face him yet.
Well, we only have a week, so maybe we can get stronger in that week. I don't know. That's not a lot of time.
Reinforcements.
Oh God. There's only like, oh my God. Do we have? Is that enough time to get stronger, or?
But is there anything in here that could give us a clue? Like, what do we?
All right. So now that you know what you're looking for a clue of some kind. Everybody, go ahead and roll me another investigation check here, please. Egrid and Shisa, roll with advantage
Auger.
for investigation.
How do I roll with advantage?
Shift quick.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So
Okay. That one.
Looking bad right there. Ooh.
Crocus Fergus, feeling a bit, maybe intimidated or just, got your mind on other things at the moment. Kind of hard to look around and really focus. Whereas Egrid and she says you're sifting through the rubble. You find a small golden scroll sticking out from underneath one of the rocks in the eastern part of the room. It's hard to tell which statue you're next to because it was been destroyed. But looking around through process of elimination, you find that this scroll is near the statue that Leon stood next to when you first came down here. The god of the sea, who is like a large snake-like creature. And you, seeing this golden scroll, Shisa, Egrid, one of you picks it up out of the rubble. And whoever wants to, who thinks they'd be the one to grab it?
I don't know, Shisa. I think this could be yours. It's snakes.
All right, I'll pick it up.
Okay. So as you pick up the scroll, written on the side, it says Leon's name.
What?
So-
It says Leon's name here.
And as you hand the scroll to Leon, it's taken you quite a few minutes to find all of this information here in this room. It's taken you some time to find the clue and do the investigations. And right as you hand the scroll to Leon, that similar grin shows up on the floor and says,
Attempt number 28. If you are here in this room, I'm going to kill your families. I'm done saying this over and over again. I'm pretty fucking bored, actually. So, show up at the South Mountain in a week. And if you don't, your families are all dead.
and the mouth goes away. And you hand the scroll to Leon, who unfurls it, and that's where we'll pick it up next time.
God.